first thing you'll notice about this blank that I have up in here is it's going to be out of round. So the first procedure, I'm probably going to have to do this video in probably like 2 or 3 parts because my phone battery doesn't really hold up that long when I'm doing videos. So I'll probably try to do it in 2 or 3 parts for you so you can see how this is done. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start this thing spinning. And you're going to notice, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but you're going to notice that it's going up and down. That kind of means that it's not round. So if I put this on here, you'll see it even better. See how that goes up and down? Which is not a good thing. The blanks come that way. I put the hole exactly in the center, but it's not. It's egg-shaped. So what happens was when they cut these blanks, they're originally round, and as the wood starts to dry, it shrinks. And it's not going to shrink in a perfectly round shape ever. I mean, I've had them that come in round, but it's very, very rare. So what's happening here is you've got a high spot, like an egg. It's, just imagine, an egg shape, just not as pronounced. So that has to get out of there because I can't spin the wood fast enough to do my cuts on the foot until I get it round. So that's going to be the first procedure. So what I'm going to do is gradually turn up the speed on here until it starts to wobble. Once it gets out of my comfort zone, I'll leave it because, you kind of get a feel for what's safe and what's not after you've been doing this for a long time. So basically, having a variable speed lathe when you're doing bowls is kind of important. Otherwise, I'd be stopping to switch belts constantly. So that's why I like doing bowls on this lathe instead of my other one. My other one works great for pens, spindles, and stuff like that where I never have to change speed. But when it comes to bowls, this is the type of lathe you really need to have. Something where you have total control over how fast things spin. That's very critical. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Now you'll notice that it's still stable. It's still stable. Because you want to get it going as fast as you comfortably can because you'll get a better cut. All right. I think we'll try it right there. I'm going to use a scraper just to scrape the wax off. The ends of the grain are sealed with wax that keeps the wood from cracking. You want to be very careful when you go into this because, like I said, you got a ½ inch difference, so it's going to bump. Use this tool rest a little bit, maybe I won't get so bumpy. It's very important that when you go to put the tool into these, you go very slowly. Don't try to rush it because that's when you get that pop. If you're going in too fast, you gotta go very slow. Just till it starts to tap. Very time consuming, but it's a necessary step. Once you start getting little curly cues of wood coming off there instead of just sawdust, you'll know you're getting more surface, which means it's getting closer to being round. Purple Heart is very hardwood because it comes from the center of the tree. It's almost like working with steel. Gets a little hot, so you gotta be careful and make sure you hold your hand back far enough this way, because the shavings, believe it or not, come off of there pretty hot. It will burn you. So then you get some air pressure. It's going to be a little noisy for a minute. Now you can tell if you've got it round by making sure that your tool has touched every surface of the wood going around, and it looks like it has. You just need to take a little bit more off to this side, and we should be good. Now I can move the tool rest back and use a serious tool on it because the wax is all gone. Okay, we've reached our goal to be able to get it to spin really fast. Now I can work on the foot. And that's gonna be about it for this video because, like I said, my battery won't hold up for many, many minutes of doing that. It's time for a new phone. I guess I have to make that investment. But anyway, we're gonna move our tool rest to the facing like this. Lower it. You always want your tool rest about ½ an inch below center. That's where I prefer it, but that's a matter of what you prefer. A lot of wood turners like it real low, and then they'll eke up on the chisel, but I don't like doing that because it causes a lot of catching. Like you've seen before, when I lowered the tool rest, the catching stopped. It can scare you because when it catches, it's the machine's pulling back on you. It's trying to pull the tool out of your hand. So it makes a lot of new turners like really nervous when that happens. This is the chuck that we're going to be mounting this thing on to do the final turning. So that's the part I'm going to be working on now. What we need to do is we need to get a measurement off this chuck. And I use a caliper for that. Other guys use a tape measure, but I like doing it this way because it's quick and easy. Make sure you make it a little bit bigger than the diameter because there is a dovetail on here. Wood chips all over the floor already. Just cleaned it up too. That's how they do that. I always wondered what I used to think. How do they make that? How do they know right where that goes? This is a diamond parting tool. This is what I'm going to use to make the dovetail that thing mounts on. I'll try to name all the tools as I use them. Sometimes I forget. This is a 1/4 inch gouge. And they call it a gouge. You'll see why in a second. Gouges always work better on the push cut. They don't cut so well going backwards, so you always want to try to push the gouge into the work. This is called a skew. It's just like a regular chisel that you use for wood, except it's cut on an angle. And basically I just use these for smoothing out so there's less sanding. We're going to go back to the diamond parting tool to finish, to finish the cut for the foot. Now this is a bowl, or this is going to be a serving dish, so I'm going to make a wider foot on it. So I'm going to go back probably about out to here with my foot. And it's going to be very shallow, just enough for me to put a chamfer on when I turn down to that point. Now when you get back, when the video comes back, I just got up this morning, so I'm a little fidgety still. I need more coffee. But when I come back to the video, this part here, the round over from here to here, is going to be done, and it's going to be remounted on the chuck. All that stuff is kind of boring, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And then for the second part of the video, once I charge the phone again, I will come to the interesting part where it starts to actually look like something. But anyway, I'll show you this part again. This is the chuck. This is what that fits into. If you notice, this has like a, it's like a dovetail kind of one way. It goes out like that. So when you turn these screws right here, the end of this thing expands out and catches onto that. Okay, and there's millions of different kinds of these. I have like 3 different ones, but like I said, the other ones, they don't fit this machine. I only have one that actually screws onto this machine because this right here is different on a lot of these lathes. It ranges in size depending on the horsepower and the size of the machine. The smaller lathes use a smaller spindle. So, you know, it doesn't make sense to buy a whole shitload of adapters, you know, just buy one chuck because it's cheaper that way. But anyways, that's what's going to have to happen here now shortly. And we will be back.